Good evening. I'm Dr. Fred Rouse, the Real Money Doctor, and it's currently Sunday evening, 7 o'clock just about, on March 29th. News just came through a little while ago that the President extended the 15-day period all the way out to April 30th. Okay, so again, COVID news is top of the line today, without a doubt, in the world. Just to recap on what we do here. My goal here is to help you get, protect, and enjoy your money, your life, and your retirement. So every day around 7 o'clock, I'll do a daily recap of the events that affect your ability to do those things. So right now, back on, well, here we are, the 29th, just 3 days ago, the U.S. took the #1 spot for the most cases worldwide. U.S. cases now of COVID-19 are 137,000. The death toll right now is 2,400 right now, and of that, 2,600 have recovered. 2,600 people have actually recovered. So it's not a death sentence. Okay, people are getting better from it, but this is still growing, without a doubt, in the world. The epicenter is New York City. That's the place that gets hit the hardest right now. There's 59,000 cases in New York State by itself. In New York State, there's also 965 deaths. Of the 59,000 cases, of the 965 deaths, New York City has 678 of those deaths at this point in time. New York State officials are not expecting this to peak for another 14 to 21 days. New Jersey is #2 with 13,000 cases right now and 140 deaths. Now, what's happening in New York State is the model of what's going to be happening to the rest of the country at some point in time. Right now, New Orleans, Detroit, and Chicago are next on the list. They're having issues every day. An infant died the other day in Illinois from COVID-19. Healthcare people, the frontline folks are exposed every minute of every working day. Their stress is rising. They were treating people originally before they knew what was going on. It was covered up. It wasn't mentioned. It was COVID-19. Nobody knew what it was at that point in time. The doctors were out there. So more and more doctors right now are coming down with this at this point in time. More and more cities, states and cities are issuing stay-at-home orders. With the extended order from the President right now to April 30th, I would assume that more people are going to be taking this a little bit more seriously at this point in time. Finally, because you've got some states that are still not quite on board with this. It just blows my mind completely. Defense Production Act is in place at this point in time, specifically for GM, though, to make ventilators. They, however, still need time to retool to manufacture things. Federal disaster needs to be a federal response. This is a national pandemic at this point in time. It's a worldwide pandemic. The United States is getting hit really, really hard. Okay, it needs a coordinated federal response from the top down. The states can't do this. Right now, they're still going back and forth, trying to get ventilators. Okay, and they're bidding against each other. That situation has not been cleared just yet. They're still bidding against each other. And FEMA comes in and blows the entire thing and pushes it even further out. So the event cost is really getting off the wall at this point in time. Let me just take a peek at this stuff here. Get this down. Just stay here. Here we go. Okay, now, it was just approved by the FDA. I think it was yesterday, day before, I'm not certain. Abbott Labs in Illinois came up with a 5-minute test. They've been working for this for quite a while now. Right now, they have a 5-minute turnaround time on this test. They still need time for production and distribution, but a 5-minute test is now in existence. It exists right now. That's a really good thing. The problem right now is that some testing still takes 10 days to turn around. That's a long period of time to wait. Now, you can't figure out what the entire problem is until you can test everybody. And even in New York City, New York State, where this is the center of it, New York State is the center of the U.S. response at this point in time. Everything is going in there. And based on what they do there, that model is going to be used in other cities and other states as this moves on. Now, in the politics, again, the President extended the 15-day shutdown that was supposed to finish up yesterday. He's extended that to April 30th. Okay. The quarantine thing that went and stopped quickly right now He'd mentioned that yesterday for New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. That already changed within hours of that announcement, that tweet, that thought, whatever it might have been, to just a strong travel advisory from the CDC at this point in time. So it's for non-essential travel between those three states. They want that shut down at this point in time. The markets on Friday dropped 915 points. Right now, with this announcement, it looks pretty certain that the markets are going to take another tumble tomorrow, maybe another 4 or 5 points, at least 4 or 5 percentage points. Not points, but actually 4 and 5% of the market. So again, the bottom is not quite in place yet. And again, I've been mentioning that's not going to happen until there's more certainty with what's happening on the medical side. And right now, there is no certainty what's happening on the medical side. Until this gets settled, some way, shape, or form, until New York hits a peak and comes down, and they see what things are working and what's not working, that they can then apply to other cities and states. Okay, this is not going to settle by a lot. Now, the federal government has come through. Finally, the Senate and Senate and Congress have passed it. The president signed the $2.2 trillion Relief Act. That's great. Money is coming out. Okay, individuals will be getting checks. You got to be aware at this point in time, there are tons of scam artists out there. They're going to take advantage of this. The IRS and the states will not call you on the phone and ask for any information. You don't need to do anything to get the stimulus payment. To get that relief payment, all you have to do is file your income tax return. They've got that information. No one is going to call you to ask you for information. No one from the IRS, no one from your individual state is going to call you and ask you for information. No one from the IRS or your state is going to email you asking for information. If you get a call, you get an email, ignore it. Hang up on the call, delete the email. They will look pretty official. I can guarantee you they're going to look semi-official. Do not open those emails. Do not click on the links. Okay? When they get you on the phone, do not give them any information. Just hang up. It is not the IRS. It is not the state trying to get you information for you. The same thing happened years ago with the oil scam. Okay, somebody's uncle died, and I'm a lawyer here, and we've got this estate, and we want to share this with you. None of that is true. It never worked in the past. It's not going to work now. Don't, when you get those emails from your credit card company, they look like you're from your credit card company asking for your information. Don't do it. Okay, always call your credit card company and ask them, okay, if it's a regular email or not. If you call them, the number on the back of your credit card, you will then know if they need information from you or not. Do not respond to emails until you know 100% certain it's definitely from your credit card company. They will never ask you to verify your information in an email. It doesn't happen that way. The IRS will not ask you for information either. So when you get those things, ignore those things. Your money is on the way. It's not a lot of money. It's a help. It's $1,200 for most people, and $500 for every additional kid. Okay, $1,200 if you're single, $2,400 if you're married, and again, $500 for every additional kid. Now, the big question at this point in time is COVID going to make you bankrupt or not? That's a really big question. With the numbers increasing daily, you have a 40% chance of getting COVID. Now, of the 80% that get it, 80% people recover. 80% of people actually recover from COVID. So it's not a death sentence. It's uncomfortable without a doubt in the world. It's going to get ugly, but you've got the health issues and you get the financial issues. Some people don't have health insurance to this day. They still don't have health insurance. And for those that do, there's still a copay. A lot of it's 80-20. A lot of the healthcare plans have raised the initial copays or the initial out-of-pocket to really high levels before they even kick in. Now, the average cost of treatment for a COVID patient is between $42,000 and $74,000. $42,000 to $74,000 to treat one COVID patient. Now, most insurance companies, on the average, are paying somewhere between $22,000 and $38,000 in payments. There's a gap there between $20,000 and $36,000. That's technically your responsibility. $20,000 to $36,000. People were having medical bankruptcies before. They're going to have more now. Okay. Hopefully the next bill, and they're working on it, is going to address some of the costs for individuals. I don't know what's going to be. Okay. They're talking about that, but it's not in place just yet. And until it's signed, you have no idea what it is. Now, I've been advising people for years now that the market crashes every 7 to 10 years. Something always happens. You don't know what it is, but something always happens. Now, right now, it was 9/11, it was the banking thing, it was something, it was always something. Every 7 to 10 years something happens. Right now, the thing is COVID. COVID-19 is the thing that's causing it to crash right now. And some people are just starting to take this seriously. There's still parts of the country that are just blowing this off. It's ridiculous, but they are. Now, it's going to peak in different sections of the country at different periods of time. Right now, we're waiting for the peak in New York. More cases are happening in New York than anywhere else in the country right now. That's going to be the biggest thing and the biggest peak. That's going to be the training ground for systems to be worked out. Medical treatments that they're working on are going to be tried in New York State before anywhere else, most likely. So, all these things are happening. Other parts of the country will learn. Again, New York State is the epicenter right now. As it peaks there, it will hopefully peak somewhere else after that. Okay. It'll be a rotating type situation, the same way a tide comes in at one section and then it goes out. Another section gets the high tide then. Same thing happens with the peak of this virus, hopefully. And all the ventilators and things that are being produced and shipped to New York, once they're past their peak, will then be able to be redeployed to the next city with the next peak problems of their own. Now, there are going to be medical staff shortages. Again, that's just a part of the thing. You can't help that. These doctors were sick before. They're going in there every day, right in the midst of things. Just the same way the firefighters and the police on 9/11, they were going into it. Everybody else running away, they're running into it. Your medical professionals are running into this situation right now. They're there. They're putting themselves at risk every day trying to work for you. So they're there. They're going to do their best. If you're caught in a situation where you're in the hospital, you're exposed to medical professionals, maybe for the first time, maybe not. Okay. They're going to be short-tempered to some degree. They're going to be very, very hectic. They may not be able to spend the amount of time with you that they would like to do. Okay. You may be sitting for quite a while waiting for things to happen. ER waits were always bad before. They're going to be worse now. Just understand this. Just go with the flow of things as best you can. Okay. The big thing is, right now, don't change your behavior to avoid infection. I've been saying it for a few days now. Don't change your behavior to avoid infection. Assume you're infected and change your behavior to avoid transmission. This virus doesn't walk around all by itself and just jump on people. The only way the virus gets moved from one person to another person is because it's transmitted. So if you just stay in place, okay, you've cut off the ability of that transmission from one person to another. If you stay in place, you can't infect somebody else. They can't infect you. So again, just assume you're infected, change your behavior to avoid transmission, stay in place as much as is humanly possible. You'll have to go out for supplies at some point in time, but for everything else, okay, there is no need to go out and about. Now, you've got responsibilities to yourself and your family, your neighbors, and society in general, okay, not to spread this infection. People are doing an amazing job doing that. Now, you've also been advised for a while now that you need to get control of your money in your life. If you've been following me at all over the years, I've been telling everybody, watch out for market crashes. They happen every 7 to 10 years. Things just happen. And get control of your money in your life because things just happen. Now, you can't do that generally when you just have a W-2 job. I don't care how good the salary is. If you got a W-2 job, somebody else is dictating to you your hours, your life, and your income. The only way to do that is to rethink your plan A. Okay. What are your personal and financial long-term goals? I mean, the world has changed. It's not going back. Okay. What are you going to do to work on your plan B to get control of your life and your money? What happens is you really need to take a peek at that stuff. And what can you do? Generally, some type of gig work, something on the side, in addition to your W-2 job until you get it up and running by yourself. Something on the side. Some way. There's tons of ways to turn a hobby into a business. You need some business on the side. Now, I've got a link. I mentioned it before. 10 Keys to an Ideal Business. I'll have that link when I post this in my YouTube channel, The Real Money Doctor. You can go there, take a peek at that. We'll give you some ideas as to what I think is an ideal business. Things that make it easier or better to work. Now, I'm the Real Money Doctor. I've been showing people how to build what I think is an ideal business for years now, how to work on their plan B. Now, you can go to my site, drrousenow.com, take a peek at the video that's there. I show people how to retire in just 3 to 5 years, starting with as little as $10,000. It's not right for everybody. It's not going to work for everybody. I understand that. If you're in a position where you're worried about paying the rent or the mortgage, this is probably not going to work for you. If you're in a somewhat different position, then give it a peek. Maybe we can chat. You go on there, see what you think. We'll chat and see if it's going to work for you or not. There's no guarantees, though. Now, along with other things that are happening, again, Abbott Lab in Illinois, 5-minute COVID test. That's a real big deal. That's going to help out a lot. Now, people are stepping up. Abbott Lab, they've been working on this for quite a while now. This is not a 5-minute, 40-hour work week and they have this test. No, they've been working hard to get this thing in production. Okay, they got it approved, and now they're going to be working to get it out in production. Now, Grand Valley State, Illinois, is a university. Their science program, because the school is shut down, tracked down 450 boxes of gloves. They've donated them to a local hospital. In New York State, 76,000 retired healthcare professionals, nurses, doctors, respiratory therapists, mental health care folks, all volunteered to help with the COVID pandemic. So as the primary people that are working right now end up getting sick or exhausted, New York State has got these people in the background. They volunteered, again, walking into the fire of this pandemic to help out. Now, they only did it because they care. Churches, synagogues, and mosques are reaching out now with virtual services to their parishioners and the congregations. They're doing what they can do to keep the social distancing. Very, very critical. The nation is really coming together in this time of great uncertainty. And I know that each and every one of you is doing your part. Hands down. You can see it every day. People are doing the things they need to do. You get a couple crazies every now and then, but for the most part, people are coming together big time. They really are. Okay, now, the world is different. It's going to be changing in many different ways. Some things will change a lot. Some things, after this passes, will go back to a semi-normal situation. Okay? Don't fear the change. Embrace it as you go through. Without a doubt in the world, things are going to be better. Okay? There's always a night, and if you wait long enough, daytime always comes. You just have to wait for it to happen. You have to understand and know that at some point in time, the day is going to come. The daylight's going to come. The sun's going to come up. It's just a matter of time. You have to wait for it. You can't rush it. We have to live through the night in order to get to the day. Now, when you come out of this on the other side, you're going to be better. You're going to be more self-sufficient than you were when you walked into it. Okay, so those are all good things. They really are good things, and they're going to help you quite a bit. What else can you do right now if you've got kids? My wife, Dr. Terry, is doing her bedtime reading around 7:30, a few minutes from now. Okay. Every day I have new and interesting and entertaining links I post on my YouTube channel, The Real Money Doctor. The financial studies on the healthcare costs of this to individuals, that link is also posted in there. The act itself that Congress passed, the President signed, that's posted in there. There'll be a number of other things also that I thought were entertaining at some degree. Okay. Go there. I'll post this later on today or tomorrow. Okay, look at the video, look at the links. There's a lot of interesting stuff in there. Share the video, share the links. Okay, like the videos, like the channels, like this video when you can, please. Okay, I'll keep posting. I appreciate you being with me. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.